May 27th, 2025. Cristiano Ronaldo took to Instagram and posted this image with a farewell caption for Al Nassr, a club that made him the highest paid footballer in the history in 2022. It made sense at the time. His contract was just a month away from expiring. Across Europe, fans began to dream again, dreaming of seeing the talismanic Ronaldo have one last dance in the Champions League. But they forgot something crucial. Ronaldo doesn't just have the instincts of a football genius, he also has the mind of a sharp and calculated businessman. Because just a month after that supposed farewell, on June 26th, Al Nassr announced that Ronaldo had signed a brand new deal, even more lucrative than the first one. £178 million a year, £60 million in sponsorship deals, a £24.5 million signing bonus, 15% ownership in the club, plus private jets, luxury homes and countless other perks. It wasn't a goodbye, it was a masterclass in negotiation. Fast forward to October 8th. Bloomberg revealed that Cristiano Ronaldo had officially become the first billionaire footballer in history. But his fortune wasn't built on business acumen alone. In truth, a huge part of it came down to timing, PR, and luck. And we will be discussing all that and many shocking revelations in our video. Welcome to the Luxious, and today we'll be discussing the dark secret behind Ronaldo's wealth. From a raw, promising talent on the streets of Madeira to becoming a global icon, Cristiano Ronaldo's wealth story reads like a fairy tale. But behind the glamour, sponsorships and jaw-dropping contracts lies a darker, more complex narrative. One built as much on timing, power and structural inequalities as on sheer talent. To understand the dark secret behind his wealth, you have to go back to where it all began. Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos was born on February 5th, 1985 in Madeira, Portugal, a small island far from the glitz of Madrid or Manchester. His family struggled financially. His mother worked as a cook and cleaner. His father was a kit man at a local club. But even in his early years, Ronaldo had something rare. Not just talent, but an awareness of image. He knew how to carry himself, how to project confidence, and how to make people believe he was destined for greatness. By the time he joined Manchester United in 2003, Ronaldo wasn't just building a football career, he was building a brand. His flashy hairstyles, his body language, his attitude, everything screamed star. And under Sir Alex Ferguson, he learned that being the best player wasn't enough. You had to look like the best too. That understanding of image would later become one of his most powerful tools. Fast forward to 2021. At a Euro 2020 press conference, Ronaldo pushed 2 Coca-Cola bottles aside and held up a bottle of water, saying, "Agua." Within hours, Coca-Cola's market value dropped by over $4 billion. The move went viral, and people saw it as Ronaldo's statement about health and discipline. But others saw it as something else. A perfect PR stunt. Because years earlier, Ronaldo had happily appeared in advertisements for sugary brands. It wasn't really about promoting health, it was about promoting control. He had learned how to manipulate media attention, how to make every gesture, every controversy, every headline work in his favour. But behind that perfectly crafted image, there was also a sophisticated financial network quietly at play. In December 2014, just before Spain's Beckham Law, a tax break for foreign players, was set to expire, Ronaldo made a sudden financial move. He sold his image rights for the years 2015 to 2020 to offshore companies registered in the British Virgin Islands. One handled his Spanish image rights, the other for the rest of the world. According to the Football Leaks investigation, this allowed him to avoid millions in taxes by routing his earnings through low-tax jurisdictions. Spanish prosecutors later charged him with tax fraud, amounting to €14.7 million, accusing him of using shell companies to hide his income between 2011 and 2014. In 2019, Ronaldo agreed to pay a fine of €18.8 million to settle the case and avoid jail time. It was a reminder that even off the pitch, Ronaldo knew how to play the system. But he wasn't alone in this game. Behind him stood one of football's most powerful men, his agent, Jorge Mendes. Mendes was the architect of Ronaldo's empire, negotiating contracts, image rights, sponsorships and investments. Yet even he hasn't escaped controversy. In May 2025, Portuguese authorities accuse Mendes and his wife of tax fraud worth €18 million under Operation Offside, claiming they had used fake company transfers to avoid paying taxes. Mendes denied wrongdoing, but agreed to pay the owed amount. It painted a picture of a network of businessmen operating in the grey areas of wealth and legality, and Ronaldo was at the centre of it. And then came the biggest decision of his career, the move to Saudi Arabia. When he left Manchester United in 2022, the football world expected Ronaldo to join another European club, but deep down, Ronaldo knew that era was over. At 37, no major European giant was going to build a team around him anymore. So instead of fighting for minutes in the Champions League, he chose something different: long-term financial security. Saudi Arabia offered not just money, but power, influence, and global visibility. His signing was part of a much larger plan. Saudi Arabia's attempt to rebrand itself through sports. Critics call it sports washing, using global sports stars to distract from human rights abuses and authoritarian policies. When Ronaldo signed for Al Nassr in December 2022, Amnesty International urged him to use his platform to speak about Saudi Arabia's human rights issues instead of offering uncritical praise. But Ronaldo never did. Instead, he called it an amazing country and promised to help develop its football culture. And here lies another contradiction. Ronaldo publicly supports blood donation drives and portrays himself as a philanthropist, but rarely addresses the moral implications of where his wealth now comes from. He's built a global brand around values like discipline, faith, and family, while his earnings are tied to a regime known for its human rights violations. But this move wasn't just about morality, it was also strategy. Because by joining Saudi Arabia, Ronaldo positioned himself as the face of the kingdom's billion-dollar push to dominate world football. A movement that now includes deals with Sadio Mane, Karim Benzema, and the 2034 World Cup bid. In exchange, he became richer than ever, with a contract reportedly worth over £178 million per year, ownership shares, and commercial tie-ins that make him untouchable financially. To his critics, it's hypocrisy. To his fans, it's brilliance. And that's the paradox of Cristiano Ronaldo, a man who started with nothing but turned himself into a global institution. He mastered not just football, but perception. He learned how to play both the sport and the system, from tax havens to PR stunts, from European glory to Saudi gold. Maybe that's why he'll go down as not just one of the greatest players ever, but one of the greatest strategists in sports history. A man who knew that trophies fade, but wealth lasts forever. It takes a lot of effort to make these videos for you, so kindly hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to click the bell icon.